EF21 is sponsored by the Climate Council of Greater Kansas City and KKFI 90.1 FM, Kansas City Community Radio. This is Tech. It does a planet good. Please welcome your host, Leslie Scott.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here today. I'm excited to dig into what we can do with tech for good. So I'm going to start out by, well, I thought I was going to share my screen, but maybe we're not quite ready for that. All right, technical difficulties. Hold on. Well, Bob, can you help me out here? I'm not able to share my screen.
Is it giving you a message?
Yeah, it says you cannot screen share while the other participant is sharing.
Okay, try that again.
There we are. Okay. The joys of Zoom. Okay, so we're gonna just go through this really quickly, I hope. So I'm Leslie Scott, and we also have here today Miriam Bouallegue, and she's with Metropolitan Energy Center. And I am the founder of Do More Good, which is a social enterprise that creates technology, capacity building technology solutions for nonprofit organizations. And our first project is Re.Use.Full. And so normally you might see a headshot here, but I take terrible photos. And so these are my dogs. Clockwise from the left is Mo, then Toby and Mischief and Murphy in the bottom left. And here's how you can find me if you would like to after the presentation's over or down the line. So we hear a lot about how evil technology is, you know, and it does do some bad stuff around privacy and other things, but, you know, it doesn't have to be that way. So I'm going to talk about that today. And I have everything in the way of this quote, but it is our job and our responsibility to be a force to shape it for good. Our opportunity is to shape these technologies to change your business, but also to change society. That we get to shape technology and drive it as a force for global good. And that is from a talk that Pat Gelsinger did. He is currently the CEO of Intel. He was with VMware, I think, at the time that he gave that talk. But you know, it's good to hear at least the words coming from a big tech company. So kind of in contrast to big tech companies is a nonprofit called Code for America. And it is in the Bay Area, so kind of still in the Silicon Valley neighborhood. But they started this thing called the Brigade Network. And it's a national alliance of community organizers, developers, and designers that are putting technology to work in service of our local communities. They believe that government can work for the people, by the people in the digital age if we all help. And so there are volunteers all over the country in these brigades working on projects that help the community. And so a lot of those tend to be around, they have a sustainability aspect to them in some regard. So there are 80 plus brigades across the US. You can see most of them are on the coast. But we have a few peppered in there. And of course, we're right there on the border. And So here is just a sample of some of the environment focused projects from brigades around the country. Code for Connecticut. They have this cleanup app that helps people collaborate on community cleanups more efficiently. Code for Fort Collins is tracking their solar and renewable energy goals. Pre-cycle, New Orleans, they wonder what you can recycle, and so they're helping people do that by letting them know what can be recycled, and then also reminding people when to recycle and where. Code for Austin, of course, known for having a lot of people who are going to be in this space. They the city of Austin created this universal recycling ordinance, which requires people to recycle, and so this is basically telling on people if they're not. And so here in Kansas City, we have Code for KC, and we have a weekly hack night every Monday from 6 to 8. Yes, you can hack for good. Our project teams give an update and then spend that time to work on their project. We've been meeting virtually since March of 2020, and you can go to codeforkc.org and see projects and sign up to attend. And we're going to get into more about that. Every project needs to focus on what's the problem. So what problem are we trying to solve with Re.Use.Full? And here are just some statistics that take every year 26 billion pounds of clothing and textiles go to landfills. Vast majority of it can be reused or recycled. And what's most depressing about that is it can take up to 700 gallons of water to make one new cotton t-shirt, which is more than the average person drinks in 5 years, and then 1,800 gallons of water to make a new pair of jeans. So when that stuff goes in the landfill, that environmental impact is really there. And I had inquiries from friends who were wondering, hey, where can I take this box of clothes or toys or books or rehome my computer, all those things. And so it sparked an idea. And so I created Re.Use.Full to give used clothing and household goods a second life. They can benefit charities through what they call in-kind donations, but also reducing the demand for new products and save precious natural resources and lower our carbon footprint. So the time was right to launch because people took the time during the pandemic to unbury themselves as they were home a lot. I think they just noticed more and more that they were wondering, does it spark joy? And really came to conclusions they have too much stuff. So this is the homepage as it looks today for Re.Use.Full. Again, it's a project to do more good. It was about 10 years in the making, and we had several iterations before launch. So I can tell you the first few did not look like this. They were not pretty. The project was launched as a result of the efforts of a mix of professional and volunteers, of professional service and volunteers. I like to thank the U.S. Congress for my first stimulus check, because I paid a friend of mine to develop a WordPress site, which is the one that you see when you go to the site. The look and feel was created by a volunteer, a UX designer, and then there are other aspects of it that were created by volunteers, and specifically a large part of the really what I call the engine of the site was created by volunteers. We're fiscally sponsored by KC Digital Drive, which is the nonprofit organization that that has Code for KC as one of its projects. We are able to accept donations and provide a tax deduction for those donations. So currently we have 38 charity partners. We launched in late August of 2020. So we're getting about 3 to 5 new charity partners a month. It's totally free to sign up. So if you happen to be with a nonprofit organization that could take, could benefit from in-kind donations, gently used items, or even new items, we'd love for you to sign up. So that breaks down to 33 nonprofits, 4 schools, that's 3 early childhood centers and 1 K-12 school, and then 1 church. So super easy to sign up. You just go to the site under For Charity Partners. You're going to click sign up. This is the form, just the first page of it. It takes less than 5 minutes. And again, totally free. And then after you get signed up as an organization, then donors can find you on the site. And so they can search by whether they want their item picked up, or they are able to drop it off, what kind of items they have to donate. And then also, if they have a specific kind of organization they want to support, some people have a very strong belief in supporting maybe organizations that help people who are survivors of domestic violence, or maybe they've experienced homelessness in the past and they want to support people going through it now. Maybe they just have a personal tie to the type of mission of a certain organization. So they can select that if they'd like, or just say any. You click view results, and then you're going to get a results list. So the map is here, and then underneath is where you're going to see the results list. I like to say we're like Tinder, but we don't make the dinner reservation for you. So as the donor, it's still up to you to learn more about each organization that matched your search results. And then when you find one you like, or maybe there are a few who you might want to contact, you go ahead and click that contact button. It's going to enable you to send an email to the person whose email address and name was entered when the organization signed up. And so that is actually the end of my part. And that's how we created Re.Use.Full as a way to just get rehome resources instead of having them just be set on the curb, and also to make it so that sometimes organizations will get the wrong thing, sometimes they will get too much of the thing they do need, and so maybe they have it on their website, that these are the kinds of things that they need, and they have to pay their a marketing company or website company to get that change made. With Re.Use.Full, all they have to do is log in and edit their profile really quickly, so they can definitely make those changes much more quickly than they could on their website. And so with that, I'm going to hand it over to Miriam. She's going to talk about their project at the Metropolitan Energy Center that they did with Code for KC.
Hi, thank you, Leslie, for that introduction. And I will go ahead and start sharing my screen as well. Alrighty, so I would like to talk about our project that we're doing with Code for Kansas City, mapping energy efficiency and public health. So as Leslie mentioned, I'm with Metropolitan Energy Center. I'm a project manager for our Sustainable Transportation Program. And with this project, we've partnered with Code for KC to develop our energy efficiency mapping tool. So a little bit about Metropolitan Energy before we start. We've been a Kansas City area nonprofit since 1983. And prior to that, we were a part of the city of Kansas City. So we have just about 40 years of work in Kansas City around energy efficiency. Our energy efficiency work is divided into two main programs. We work with buildings as well as transportation. So with our buildings program, we work both with commercial and residential building owners to improve energy efficiency. We also work with tenants and landlords to improve energy efficiency for rented homes and buildings. We also have a Project Living Proof demonstration home that here in Kansas City, where people can come and learn all about different kinds of energy efficiency methods that one can take in one's own home. And we also offer this space as an event space for nonprofits or other organizations. For our Clean Transportation Program, we operate both the Kansas City Regional Clean Cities Program as well as the Central Kansas Clean Cities Program. These are Department of Energy funded programs, and it's part of a nationwide network by the US DOE to promote alternative fuels and cleaner, greener transportation. Metropolitan Energy Center provides the resources, the outreach, and the training so that these greener alternative fuels are no longer alternative, and we can work towards a more energy efficient Mid-America region. So this is our problem statement. We've been working here in Kansas City for over 30 years now, and we've had a tremendous effect in our region, reducing air emissions and improving air quality. However, at the time, we're about the only ones that know about our work here in Kansas City. And so we've been working with Code for Kansas City to create a centralized space that visualizes all of our projects to reduce emissions in the region. We want our stakeholders and our future partners, as well as our community members, to be able to access meaningful data on the projects that are impacting their local air quality and their health. We also would like to learn more about where these projects have been historically located and where are future areas of opportunity. This project is very important because it provides specific updated emissions data that supports and reinforces our reputation for improving the collective health of our region through our sustainable transportation projects, as well as our energy efficient building projects. The idea behind this map is so that we can highlight where the green energy projects have and have not been located, which can better empower public discourse and facilitate smarter, more equitable collaborations in the future. We're hoping to enable other clean cities coalitions around the country to add their data to ours and create a nationwide picture of collective impact. So once we finish our minimum viable product with Code for Kansas City, we plan on sending this project to the US Department of Energy and sharing it with other clean cities coalitions nationwide. Metropolitan Energy Center primarily works with the US Department of Energy as well as the US EPA, but we do have a number of other sponsors and partners that we work with, including the Federal Highway Administration, the City of Kansas City, Missouri, and many other local municipalities, Kansas Soybean Association, UPS, Kansas City Airport, and many more. The MEEP web application is currently under development with Code for Kansas City. It will display a map with location markers to show the locations of reported projects. Users will be able to search for information by zip code, proximity to an area, type of project, year range, and users will be able to click on a project that they see on the map and learn more about that project, as well as how that project has improved air quality and reduced emissions in our region. The front end is written with JavaScript and React, and the back end is created with Python, Flask, and a Post database. It's currently still under development, so anyone that would like to contribute or talk about the project can join Code for Kansas City, as Leslie mentioned on her presentation, and learn more about how they can get involved in this. So I'd like to share a quick demo of what we've been working on so far. This is a demonstration of what we have done so far. So if you click on Get Started, this is a map of Kansas City based off of Google Maps. Users will be able to input a zip code for an area that they're interested in looking at. And then they can select the proximity to that zip code and dive in a little bit deeper into a specific area of the city. We have projects going back, like I said, over 30 years. And so with this project, we're looking back to the year 2000, and users will be able to select which date range they're interested in. They can also search by project type if they want. So these are some examples of how the project information may look after a user clicks on the project, and they can learn more about it. So with that, I would like to turn it back over to Leslie. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to throw up one more slide here. So, basically, MEC had an idea. They had a problem they were trying to solve. We had a problem we were trying to solve and an idea. And, I don't know about you, Miriam, but I really didn't know where to start. So it was really helpful to have a group of volunteers that who were knowledgeable about technology. And I mean, I'd worked in two big IT teams, but as far as leading a project, that was new to me. So a lot of times the project ideas do come from a nonprofit organization or local government. Maybe somebody is passionate about a particular topic. So it might be, being a pedestrian or cycling. It can be something you just are personally interested in too. You don't have to have any kind of infrastructure behind you. So if you do have an idea, you can go to the Code for KC website, and you can find that submit option and submit your idea. I will say that in the virtual setting, we aren't having as many new volunteers come as we had when we were in person. But it's still fine to go ahead and get your project in the hopper. And as we have new folks who are interested in hopping on a team, they can check out your project and see if it matches their skill set. I will say the MEEP project, Miriam, how long has it been going on? It's been a while, right? Maybe 3 years?
I think around 2 years.
Okay.
I'm not sure on that.
Okay, that's all right. I just want to kind of give the caveat that it's like, you know, I mean, there are some projects, you know, really simple mapping projects. If you already have the data, you know, you might be able to produce that pretty quickly, but you know, it is volunteer created, so you know, things happen much more slowly, and there are also one of the great ways that people learn more technology is by working on projects at Code for KC. So they may also be in that learning stage as well, as far as their skill set goes. You know, please do submit an idea if you have one. And again, you know, most of our projects are open source, which means that you know, one of the benefits of the Brigade project or the Brigade network is the fact that we can leverage what other brigades are doing because it is open source. So their code is available for us to leverage and tweak as we need to for our community, and then vice versa. So we hack for good, not for profit. So, you know, don't think that you can come in and have an idea and then walk away with something that you're going to take to market, because that's not how this works. This is for the benefit of the community. With that, I think that we are ready for questions. We have a couple in the Q&A. Miriam, when is the data supposed to be delivered to the DOE?
We plan to deliver that to the DOE once we have a minimum viable product. And as Leslie mentioned, since this is a volunteer run effort, it can be a little bit difficult to predict timelines. But that being said, we'd like to do that sometime this year, ideally, or next year at the latest.
And then Kathy's idea, or Kathy's question is, do our project ideas strictly for the Kansas City area? So typically, yes. If it's a someplace that's close, so maybe you're talking Lawrence or Topeka, you know, someplace that's relatively adjacent to our metro area, that's something that, you know, we would definitely look at, because they don't have code brigades there. There may very well be a code for St. Louis. So I would check that out. We can go back to the map. Let me see. Let's go back to the map real quick. And see whether, sorry, this is annoying, but it's where we were. And there we are. Yeah, so it looks like from the map, that's, I'm guessing, St. Louis, right there on the other side of the state line. So check out, you know, do a quick Google search and see if there's they're doing a meetup still, and you probably will be able to connect with them, the group that's working on things in St. Louis. Anybody else have any questions? I'm just curious, anybody have an idea? You can put that in the Q&A too. Okay, well, you will know that that we are a resource. And then also, you know, if you happen to be someone who wants to hop on as a volunteer, no, you don't have to be a tech person to come and help. For instance, you know, I have several volunteers who are working on marketing for me. We need writers, we need researchers, we need all kinds of skill sets. So, you know, if you can look things up, if you can put things in a spreadsheet, like anything. Okay, so we got another couple of questions. So we do connect with nonprofit. So the question is, does Re.Use.Full connect to resale shops as well? So we do connect with nonprofit resale shops. And so Mission Adelante Thrift is a charity partner, as well as Goodwill. So both of those are charity partners for us. And you know, initially the idea was kind of to provide an alternative to the kind of go-to thing of dropping your stuff off at Goodwill or Salvation Army. But you know, they do have some great programming that's funded by those thrift stores. And then also there are other organizations that have a model of reselling donations as well. So PCs for People was used to be Connecting for Good. They take donated computers, refurbish them, and then sell them at a very low cost to people who meet certain qualifications. So initially, we were going to, you know, avoid the resale aspect, but realized that there are certainly some value in connecting with those folks. And then Cheryl's asking, any kind category of ideas. Yeah, so I mean, it really can vary. So we had something that was colloquially called Trash Day for a while. That was a project because apparently one of the most common questions that 311 was getting in KCMO was, when's my trash day? And so so you know, we had something that was going to tell people that, and then maybe some other useful information like you know, where can I recycle glass, because you know, we don't do curbside recycling of glass in Kansas City, Missouri. You know, just other kinds of information that somebody might want to know when they first move to a new home or a new city. So, you know, things can be very mundane. The only real requirement is that it needs to be something that helps the community. So if you have an idea for that, you know, please consider submitting it. Any other questions? Got about 5 minutes left. All right. Well, I hope that we'll see some of you possibly Mondays, 6 p.m. It's pretty easy to pop in now that it's virtual. In the physical space, we met at the Plex Pod and the Crossroads. But that's not always convenient to go to the physical location. So I think it's opened up the ability to participate for a lot of people. I have a volunteer, in fact, from the Philadelphia area, and she's able to join meetups sometimes. So Miriam, you have any last thoughts?
I just want to say thank you to everyone for having us on today. And thank you, Leslie. And if anyone is interested in learning more about what Metropolitan Energy Center does, how we may be able to assist you with energy efficiency, or how you can get involved with volunteering, please feel free to contact me anytime. My email is miriam@metroenergy.org.
Yeah, and you can reach me at leslie@Re.Use.Full.org. So with that, I would just like to thank everybody for coming today, and hope you check out some of the other great talks that are part of the Earth Festival this year. And we will see you next time.